Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here on a gray, cloudy, cold November morning for today, Wednesday, November 19th, MPO Technical Advisory Committee. We'll start on our agenda here, and our first item is call to order and introductions. I'll start to my left here. If you could just introduce yourself and the agency you're with. If you are a proxy for someone, please just let us know who you're filling in for. So with that, Ryan, I'll turn it over to you. And I understand we have one online member. We'll get to you at the end as soon as everybody in the room is introduced themselves. So Ryan, start us off.
Ryan Roebling, City of Bloomington Planning and Transportation Department, proxy David Hiddle.
Neil Copper, proxy for Andrew Seaboard, City of Bloomington City Engineer.
Nate Nickel, City of Bloomington Public Works Department.
Paul Satterley, Monroe County Highway Engineer.
John Baton, GIS Coordinator, Monroe County.
Kelly Whitmer, Monroe County Parks and Recreation.
Jane Fleeg, City of Bloomington Utilities.
Max Dyer, City of Bloomington GIS Division, proxy for Megan Blair.
John Connell, Bloomington Transit.
Thank you. And at this point, we can go ahead to our online guest, our online member. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Mary Wells, Natural Resources Manager, Bloomington Parks and Rec, proxy for Rebecca Swift, Operations Director for Parks and Rec.
Great, thank you.
It looks like the INDUF person disappeared, so.
Okay. Okay, with that, we can move to our next item, approval of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve today's TAC agenda?
Motion to approve.
Jason, do I have?
Second.
All right, thank you, Brian. Any public comment? Hearing none, over to staff for roll call vote.
Neil Copper,
Yes.
Ryan Roebling,
Yes.
Jane Fleeg. Yes. John Baton,
Yes.
John Connell. Yes. Kelly Whitmer,
Yes.
Max Stier,
Yes.
Nate Nickel,
Yes.
Paul Satterley,
Yes.
Mary Wells,
Yes.
motion passes.
Great, thank you. Okay, our next agenda item, approval of minutes from our last meeting. It's been a while since we last met, August 27th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve the August meeting minutes?
So moved.
Thanks, Ryan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, John. All right, any public comment on this one? Hearing none, can go back to staff for a roll call vote.
Nate Nickel,
Yes.
Paul Satterley,
Yes.
Jane Fleeg. Yes. John Baton,
Yes.
John Connell. Yes. Ryan Roebling,
Yes.
Neil Copper,
Yes.
Kelly Whitmer,
Yes.
Max Stier,
Yes.
Mary Wells,
Yes.
motion passes. Jane
Great.
Fleeg. I think I said Jane already.
Jane, did we get you? Okay, great, thank you. Okay, moving ahead to communications from the chair and vice chair. John, do you have any county updates?
I do not have anything at this time. I will note that we are, in terms of the GIS side of it, we are about to deploy a new, deploy is not the right word. We are in the process, we're about completed with a new addition to our social vulnerability index viewer for the county. What the social vulnerability index is a metric from the CDC that identifies communities across the United States that and their ability to bounce back from some type of disaster occurrence. And so we have this for 2020 already, but we're bringing in data for 2022 as well. So we can get an idea of kind of how these different census tract groups are looking in terms of this 2-year period. And so it's a fairly valuable data set that can be utilized to identify areas where investment might be appropriate for things like roads, infrastructure, and things like that. So that should be done by probably the end of the day today.
Great. No, definitely encourage you to check out Monroe County's GIS website. There's a lot of great information on there. The aerial photos from previous, I mean, you're going back to the 1940s and 1960s is always great to look at. We use it quite often, and just a lot of great information on there. So definitely done some great work with that.
Thanks.
Just an update quickly that I can pass on is, well, it's November, so we're starting to get ready. We're officially wrapping up any kind of remaining paving work and start looking forward to that 4-letter word, snow. So plows are on the trucks, and we got a little taste of that last week. So hoping for a mild winter, but we'll see what it has in store for us. Okay, with that, I think I can move ahead to reports from MPO staff. Pat and Katie.
Oh, sorry. It's been a while. Sorry, we're not on our showtime queue here. The first one we've got is the fiscal year 26-2030 Transportation Improvement Program. This is actually old news, but it came during a odd period here where we presented this to the Policy Committee, but we did not present it to the TAC or the CAC simply because we didn't meet for 2 months. So in the packet is the approval letter of the 26-30 Transportation Improvement Program by the Indiana Department of Transportation. You can see that happened July 2nd, but then it took until August 28th for the Federal Highway Administration, Federal Transit Administration to approve the Indiana's statewide transportation improvement program, which includes our TIP by reference. Everything is good to go. We had to do some adjustments, some modifications, but other than that, we're good to go and we're ready for all the spending. And the money is flowing, albeit a little bit slower than normal. I'll be happy to answer any questions that anybody would have. Okay, next item. 17th Street and the State Road 45-46 bypass. There was a fatality there earlier this year, and it involved a car and a motorcycle with what I would call a T-bone type of crash. Staff took a look at it, made a request through the NDOT for you submission to the Seymour District to have them take an exam of it. It had a permissive left turn yellow, flashing yellow, I should say. If you were westbound and you wanted to turn left and go on to 17th Street, it had a permissive yellow. They've now changed that to a hard green and a hard red. And we haven't had, knock on wood, we haven't had any incidents since then. So our thanks to the NDOT Traffic Seymour District Traffic Engineer Damon Brown for taking that action. They were very quick on taking that. Any questions anybody may have?
Yeah, thanks, Pat. That's great to hear that there was that adjustment made. Is there any type of idea, like how often we make these requests to NDOT? Or I'm just curious, kind of, for these like changes to signals and things like that for safety.
In previous years, we made a number of requests through the NDOT for You channel, predominantly from the Policy Committee, where people were concerned about Stewart 45 or other corridors. In recent years, we've been less likely to do that simply because the reaction time is faster. Where we don't have to report it, they're already aware of it. And in this case, they were aware of it and we were aware of it at the same time. And you'll see when later on in the agenda, we're shifting to a different type of crash analysis software, AASHTO, where with that, we'll be doing what I would call near real-time adjustments. And then also the Department of Transportation Chief Traffic Safety Engineer has made adjustments where he's become proactive, very proactive on intersections. They adjusted something like 56 intersections in the Seymour district just in the last 4 months alone. So and all of that is aimed at reducing fatal and serious injury crashes. So the short answer is not recently. We don't make these requests, but we do make them whenever they occur with a fatal and a serious injury crash.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions? Anybody?
I'll just say, appreciate NDOT working so quickly to get that resolved.
And any individual is able to make a request. I think Hopi Stossberg made one for Kinzer and the bypass recently, and they did it quite quickly, and she was very surprised by that. So. Okay, the next item, I just want to say a quick word about the City of Bloomington's College and Walnut Street project, which is slated to receive some federal funds through the MPO. They hosted 2 public open houses during the last week of October, where they showed proposed designs, and staff also conducted outreach on the streets as well by tabling in various locations. So they have a public feedback form available for the public to complete by December 1st. So just wanted to make you aware of that. The next item is traffic incident management training. So MPO staff coordinated with Indiana Traffic Incident Management to hold a TIM training in City of Bloomington Council Chambers on October 24th. TIM is the concept of having a planned and coordinated multidisciplinary process to detect, respond to, and clear traffic incidents so that traffic flow can be restored safely and as quickly as possible and reduce secondary crashes. Individuals from the City of Bloomington Fire Department and Risk Departments, Ellettsville Fire Department, and Monroe County Health Department participated in this particular training. You can see the Facebook post for pictures. As of July 2025, the TIM training is required for all new EMS personnel. However, it's not currently required for law enforcement to take the training, although law enforcement does take the role of incident commander in traffic incidents. So we encourage all responders in the area, communications, EMS, fire, rescue, law enforcement, towing, DOT staff, public works, transportation staff, to reach out to Indiana TIM, and if you're interested in organizing a training for your staff. Indiana TIM also offers a Train the Trainer workshop as well. On a related note, I also wanted to take this opportunity to mention a couple dates. First, the week of November 17th through 21st, this week, is Crash Responder Safety Week. Crash Responder Safety Week is a week to both raise awareness for the work that our first responders do on the roadways, and to educate the public about traffic incident management and its related laws like the Indiana Move Over and Slow Down law. You can find more information about that at respondersafety.com. And then also November 16th, this past Sunday, was World Day of Remembrance, which is World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims. Occurs every third Sunday of November in honor of those who have lost their lives or been impacted by roadway crashes. So we just wanted to share this information with you in remembrance of the 59 fatalities that have occurred on urban and rural roads within Monroe County between 2019 and 2024. So at any moment, our lives or the lives of our loved ones can change because of a roadway crash. And it's a time for all of us to come together and consider how we can participate in making the roads safer. Next item, on pages 11 through 30 of the packet is a slideshow. So the MPO was asked to present at City of Bloomington's Common Council meeting. Specifically, the council was interested in what new pedestrian infrastructure has been supported by MPO funds in previous years and what pedestrian infrastructure will be built with MPO funds and by NDOT in the near future. So there's a copy of the presentation in the packet. It provides a good overview of past years and the future. So feel free to take a minute and glance at that. Next item, the Indiana Department of Transportation is currently in the process of updating their long-range transportation plan. It would be the 2050 long-range transportation plan. So NDOT is required by federal legislation to develop, adopt, and implement a long-range transportation plan, policy-based plan used to guide the development of Indiana's transportation network. So in the meeting agenda, there is a link to a fact sheet, a virtual room where you can learn about their goals, and then there is a public survey link in there as well, where you can pin problems on the map for the region. So this is just one of many ways they're doing their data collection for this. So feel free to complete the survey. It's open until December 20th. Next, for your information purposes, page 35 of the packet show the memo that MPO staff sent to NDOT on September 18th approving an administrative modification to NDOT project 240-1386, which is intersection improvements at SR 46 and Flatwoods Road. So NDOT's request was simply to increase fiscal year 2026 PE HSIP funds from $400,000 to $511,000. This increased their total project cost by 5%. And this was just considered an administrative modification, so we didn't have to bring this to committees for approval. But we just wanted to share it with you as an information item.
And the next item we have is the,
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry, I was doing that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead.
Like I said, we haven't met in a while here. Okay. The next item we have is the proposed calendar year 2026 MPO committee meeting schedule. If you look at this closely, this is what I would call a draft. John, this is what I was going to call you about the other day, but I didn't get to call you. If you please take this into consideration, let us know. Do you have any conflicts with any of this? We've designed it so that the key difference here is that the policy committee is meeting on the second Friday of the month. We'll move now to we'll move to the fourth Friday of the month. So that way it's a back-to-back-to-back where the technical advisory committee will meet, then the citizens advisory committee, and then the policy committee all in the same week. That's a significant structural difference from the way we've done it in previous years. Jane, you've been around, I think, as long as I have, and this was the approach in 2005 and 6 was always the second Friday and then the fourth Friday. So this breaks with the tradition significantly from previous years for 20 years or so. If anybody sees any conflicts on any of this, please let us know. We'd be happy to address those.
It
Makes
looks like
it
all
more-
committees are off in November.
I'm sorry?
All committees are off in November.
Yes.
Instead of moving the November meeting up a week to accommodate Thanksgiving, it's just been moved to the beginning of December. And there was never a December one, but it's just not on there.
And then it's a significant break from December 2nd, 4th to January 28th, 30th. So there are breaks built in there. It's just not clearly as obvious as we had made it explicit before, where we had summer breaks and winter breaks. Like I said, take it under consideration and let us know at our next meeting, or you can contact us freely, call, email, whatever, before our next meeting to let us know what you think.
All right, and then I just wanted to share some updates with the projects receiving MPO funding. I can share some, but I'd like to invite Neil and Paul to share any updates they want to share.
I don't have many significant updates. As we noted earlier, we're at the end of the construction season, asphalt plants closing. We do still have some ongoing work. I can answer any specific questions about projects, but I don't plan to go through
In terms of the county, our Vernal Pike Connector Sunrise Greetings project is now open, and we've finished up the punch list as well, so that project is fully complete. And our Fullerton Pike project, corridor project, opened, I think, on September 26th. Been a little while, but they're still working on some final details, fencing, landscaping, and some minor drainage issues. And that should be fully complete this year, so. And on the lookout, Eagleson Avenue Bridge project will be starting next year with utilities mostly during the summer, and then that bridge will be closed starting after move-in week, I guess, at IU. So be on the lookout for that project coming up.
Great, thank you both. If anybody has questions for Neil or Paul and you think of it later, feel free to reach out. A lot of good work going on. Okay, no new old business items, so we can jump ahead to new business and several items for our consideration there. So back to staff.
Okay, the first item of new business we have here is the Indiana Department of Transportation's calendar year 2026 safety targets. And the safety targets, if you've been on this committee for a while, you'll remember that the safety targets that come out on an annual basis always involve the number of fatalities, the fatality rate per 100 million vehicle miles traveled, number of serious injuries, the rate of serious injuries per 100 million vehicle miles traveled, and also the number of non-motorized fatalities and non-motorized serious injuries. The Department of Transportation currently this year their target is a 2% decrease in what we call FSI, or fatal and serious injury crashes. So far this year, even though it's incomplete, they're within the target. In other words, a less than 2% decrease or greater for fatalities. Serious injuries are up, however, but we still have the data yet to come in for November and for December. Their projection for calendar year 26 also looks at a 2% reduction in total fatalities and also in serious injuries. And those numbers are reflected in the numbers that I'm required to read out loud. The target number 1, the number of total fatalities predicted by the Indiana Department of Transportation in calendar year 2026 is 794.7. The rate of fatalities for 100 million vehicle miles traveled is 0.992. The number of serious injuries projected for calendar year 2026 is 2,965.5. Target number 4, the rate of serious injuries per 100 million vehicle miles traveled is 3.702. And then target number 5, the number of non-motorized fatalities and serious injuries projected. Their goal target is 462.96. Now, the question always comes up, what happens if they don't meet this target? And the answer is they are, well, the Surface Transportation Block Grant funding, which comes from the Federal Highway Administration. That's the primary source for all Indiana Department of Transportation funding. That primary source would be reduced, and those funds would be reallocated by the Federal Highway Administration to safety projects. So there is no, what I would call, net loss of funding overall for the state. But what it does is it shifts the resources from maintenance and preservation to safety instead. As I mentioned earlier about the proactive actions on the part of the Department of Transportation, not only in central office, but also in the Seymour District, they've been very aggressive. They're very aware of this 2% target of decrease for this year, this calendar year, and 2% decrease for calendar year 2026. Also a part of this, which I'll get into later on, is the acquisition of new crash software, AASHTOware, that coupled with the proactive, what I would call almost near-time reactions on the part of the Department of Transportation should lead to a net decrease next year. But then you always have those wild cards of unpredictability of how drivers drive and unpredictability of weather, which could be a factor too. Anyway, and then the requested action here is recommend policy adoption by the Technical Advisory Committee. And that policy committee meeting would be within 2 weeks from today. So if there are any questions, please, I'll be happy to answer those.
Pat, this is the same document that we've looked at over the past few years, right? And we generally approve it with an amendment saying that we would request that the target fatalities are 0 and those things, correct?
Yes.
So I feel like that's probably a thing that we could do again, is to say that, yeah, we acknowledge that there are going to be fatalities, but we think the target should be 0, not 800 people in cars and not 462 people not in cars dying.
In fairness to the Department of Transportation, they have talked openly about Vision Zero and the Vision Zero network, particularly by the communities, municipalities of Indiana. They just aren't there yet. And the reason they're not there yet is because the U.S. Department of Transportation isn't there yet. But yes, it's a very laudable amendment. Okay.
Yeah, I think in passing, like John mentioned, it's always sobering to see these numbers up there as targets, and I think we've always made it pretty clear here that, okay, we acknowledge the constraints that NDOT is under, but at the same time, the goal should be 0, and we've always conveyed that to the policy committee. And every time this comes up at the policy committee, I try to make sure that that's included in the update too, so policy committee hears this every time, and never had any pushback. They're a very similar mindset as well. So if anyone would like to make a motion, we can certainly include language that we've approved. I think it's going on probably at least 3 years now to this effect. Happy to entertain that.
Yeah, I put forth the motion to approve with the same language we've used in the past about that target 0.
Thanks, John. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Neil. Any public comment on this item? Okay, hearing none. Any further committee comment? We can just move on to roll call vote then.
Jane Flea,
Yes.
John Baton,
Yes.
John Connell, Kelly Whitmer,
Yes.
Max Stier,
Yes.
Nate Nickel,
Yes.
Mary Wells, or Rebecca Swift, whoever's online now.
Rebecca Swift just joined, yes.
Paul Satterlee,
Yes.
Neil Copper,
Yes.
Ryan Roebling.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you. Okay, next item is several proposed fiscal year 2026, 2030 TIP amendments. I can pass it back to staff.
Okay, the first amendment we have here is the acquisition of the Indiana Department of Transportation of what's called the AASHTO safety software, or AASHTOware is what we call it. AASHTOware with the safety segment. AASHTO, for those of you that aren't familiar with the term, is the American Association of State Highway Transportation Officials. This is all 50 states of the United States and also the territories. The AASHTO software packages have been out there for quite some time. The Department of Transportation, the Indiana Department of Transportation, has been relying upon what's called a software package called RoadHat. This was developed by research staff at Purdue University. It's been in vogue for, 7-8 years or something like that. Uses some element of not only statistical analysis forecasting, but a small element of artificial intelligence, AI type software that would be replaced by the AASHTO SafetyWare. The AASHTO SafetyWare is what I would call a national standard used by 40 Department of Transportations across 40 state Department of Transportations across the United States. The AASHTO software segment includes in it crash queries, safety analysis, network screening, predictive analysis, promotional collaboration, streamlined reporting. It also looks at dashboards, public portals, and again, more collaboration. This is a statewide license acquisition, and NDOT would share this acquisition license with all of the MPOs and all of the communities throughout Indiana at no cost. What it does is it decentralizes what I would call crash analysis or safety analysis, brings it down onto the local level so we're all speaking the same language, we're all using the same software, and we're all more or less, hopefully, coming to the same conclusions on what I would call reactive, or not reactive, what I would call safety countermeasures that are standardized by the Federal Highway Administration and the Federal Transit Administration. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions anybody may have.
Any questions for staff on this one? Is it a particular software package? Do you happen to know the name of it, or is it like an AASHTO?
It's a standard software package called AASHTOware, is what it's called, but the safety module is what they intend to acquire and allow all of the communities in Indiana to use that software also. Current process is the Department of Transportation relies on RoadHat, the software, custom software built by Purdue University. And with this, it brings it down to what I would call the local level. It's a great deal for us, free. Any other questions, please? With
Sure, Pat, I'll ask one. In
Okay.
terms of like the AASHTO software, do you know like the data, will it be data collected by it? And if there is data collection, is that stuff that we can access and get?
the data is coming from the top down to the bottom up. The Department of Transportation collects their data from the state police records, the ARIES database. And then we also take the same data, we clean it up. We spend, Katie, I'll give credit here, spends extensive amount of time cleaning up the data because it has a lot of errors to it. We GPS coordinate, identify every crash that we can identify. We send that clean data. We not only put it on our portal, but we also send it to the Department of Transportation, and we're in the process of doing that now. NDOT has requested that all MPOs take their clean data, upload it to them, so that way they can put it in their database, and that way we're all looking at the same data that's been corrected for any errors that may have been made out in the field by the officer, the reporting officer.
So the AASHTO is like it's going to be building off of our existing data to provide new insights. Okay, sorry for the question.
Oh, no.
You provided clarity to what I was thinking. I thought it was a new type of data acquisition software.
No.
It's not. It's something else. Okay.
It's the data is still the same. We still have problems. State has problems. We have problems with the data. And we go through the adjustments, they go through the adjustments, and then we're meeting in the middle here to try and make sure that we're all talking the same data.
There's no more questions on that. We can keep going. Items B2 through B5.
Okay. The next item we have here is a Transportation Improvement Program amendment for Bloomington Transit involving EV mobile chargers. These are chargers for the Bloomington Transit fleet of electric buses. Pretty straightforward, I hope. The next item we have is the acquisition of S1 guard deflectors for all of the BT Bloomington Transit fleet. These are safety deflectors that keep people from stepping off a curb into the wheel of a bus, the rear wheel of a bus, and that deflector keeps them from doing that. And then also the big one here is the Bloomington Transit new administrative and maintenance facility. This would be a rather large multi-million-dollar project beginning in fiscal year 2026. It involves not only the acquisition of the property, but also involves design and construction of the facility itself. And then the last one we have here is the purchase replacement of battery electric buses and charging equipment for Bloomington Transit. This is a normal phased replacement of what I would call diesel buses with battery electric buses. That's part of the commitment on Bloomington Transit's part to develop a whole electric fleet. And then John Connell is here to answer questions also if I can't answer the questions.
Any questions on any of these proposed TIP amendments?
Yeah, where's the new maintenance facility going to be located?
We haven't made that public yet. We have subject property in mind. We're still negotiating. We're looking at some environmental work being done. But our goal is to have that location under contract by the end of the year. And once we finalize the negotiations, we'll make a cycle.
Is somebody talking in the council chambers because audio has gone out? If so.
Sorry about that, Rebecca. John will come up to the mic here.
Yeah, sorry about that. We haven't disclosed the location. We do have a subject property under consideration, and the goal is to finalize the negotiation purchase by the end of the calendar year.
Any further questions? Great, thanks, John. These tip amendments were proposed as a bundle, so if we want, we can vote on them together. Or if people want to vote individually, that's fine too. Happy to entertain a motion either way.
Motion to approve these as a bundle?
Second.
Great, thank you. Any public comment on these new business tip amendments that are being proposed? Okay, hearing none. Staff for roll call vote?
Nate Nickel,
Yes.
Kelly Whitmer,
Yes.
John Connell,
Yes.
John Baton,
Yes.
Jane Fleeg,
Yes.
Rebecca Swift, Mary Wells,
Yes.
Paul Satterly,
Yes.
Max Stier,
Yes.
Ryan Roebling,
Yes.
Neil Copper.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you. Okay, any public comment on anything we didn't include on today's agenda? Okay, seeing none. Communication from committee members. If you have any updates or topic suggestions for future meeting agendas, or anything else you'd like to discuss?
I'd like to give a shout out to the City of Bloomington's, road team. The new maintenance that's occurred around the Arden Place neighborhoods, excellent. I run that every day. I love seeing the speed bumps. I'm guessing that's actually not the name for them, but whatever those speed deterrents are. And I'd love to see more of those in some of the thoroughfares around town, like around Winslow Road and things like that. But it's a great, nice, clear path right now, and it's no more little holes that I'm going to trip in. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Awesome, thanks. I'll make sure to convey that.
I know I'm not a committee member, but can I add something?
Sure.
The Beeline extension, I noticed is open as of this week. I took the Beeline from the City Hall to Adams on Monday, and it looks like you can go on to the new extension to 17th Street. So be sure to check that out.
And we
Okay.
are just thrilled that we put those lights to use and got them out of the goat barn. So thank you all for that opportunity as well.
Thanks, Rebecca. Yep, looking ahead to upcoming meetings, looks like Policy Committee will be meeting on December 12th, and we'll be meeting January 28th, typo there, 2025, make sure, change that to 26.
Our bad.
Yeah, that time of year, it's gonna be hard to
Yeah.
remember to change it. CAC also meets January 28th. So with that, hope everyone has great holidays, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
Please be safe driving, running, biking.